Hello everyone, welcome to Dronacharya IAS. I'm here to help you understand today's current affairs in a simple, concise and an exam relevant manner. तो आइए शुरू करते हैं आज के पहले न्यूज़ आर्टिकल के साथ. So the first news article is important for you for paper 2, GS paper 2, and under GS paper 2 your international relations section के लिए this news article becomes important. So let's read the news. It says Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey sign joint defense agreement. It's a major development which occurred today. Yes, so let's understand what kind of this agreement has taken place between these three countries, that is Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey. Very simple to understand. All these three countries have signed a mutual defense pact. Mutual defense pact, according to which they have agreed to provide collective defense. Collective defense to each other. कहने का मतलब सिंपल है, अगर इन तीन कंट्रीज जो कि हैं पाकिस्तान, टर्की और सऊदी अरेबिया, इन तीनों ने एक ऐसा अग्रीमेंट किया है that if any of the attack occurs on any of these three countries, it will be treated as an attack on all the three countries. अगर पाकिस्तान पे कोई अटैक होता है, Saudi Arabia and Turkey will see it as an attack on their own country. So the core principle is an armed attack on one will be regarded as an attack on all the three countries. So this is what this agreement is all about. It is also being commonly referred to as the Mecca Joint Defense Agreement. Mecca because it was signed in Mecca, which is in Saudi Arabia, and it was just signed yesterday, that is 7th August 2026. And it's clear, as a part of this agreement, what the three countries have agreed upon. इन countries ने ये agree किया है कि अगर किसी भी हम तीनों में से किसी पे भी attack होता है, we will treat it as a collective military attack. We will see it as an attack on all the three countries collectively. I hope this much is clear. Now we have to understand that why this agreement is significant for India. What are the implications for Indian diplomacy due to this agreement? Okay, so let's understand that. So implications for India, of course, first there are some security and strategic concerns. Security and strategic concerns, correct? Greater defense cooperation with Saudi Arabia and Turkey could enhance Pakistan's diplomatic and military leverage. Yes, Pakistan के लिए ये एक पाकिस्तान की डिप्लोमेसी और मिलिट्री के लिए को एनहांस करने के लिए दिस अग्रीमेंट कैन प्ले अ मेजर रोल and that indirectly impacts our India's geopolitics. Yes, then it also provides a greater geopolitical role for Pakistan, especially in the Muslim world. The agreement could provide Pakistan with additional strategic space in the Muslim world and dilute India's diplomatic advantage in some West Asian forums. Pakistan ki geopolitical clout will increase in the Muslim world, in the West Asian forums, and that means somewhere India's diplomatic space, India's diplomatic weightage could be harmed. So this is the second implication. So as a result of this, as a result of strengthening of Pakistan's geopolitical position, what is the next step that India should take? So according to some experts, they say that India needs a calibrated diplomacy. India needs to maintain strong relations simultaneously with Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Iran, Israel and the Gulf countries. इंडिया को अब गल्फ कंट्रीज के साथ जितने भी ये मुस्लिम वर्ल्ड की कंट्रीज हैं, चाहे सऊदी अरेबिया है, इराक है, ईरान है, इंडिया डज नॉट need to define its own relations with these countries solely on the basis of one agreement or one pact. India needs to understand that we have an independent relation with these countries, and these countries are important for our energy security, for our, for our trade, investment, etc. And that is why we need to maintain strong relations with these countries. Yes, India may need to strengthen its own, and apart from that, India also needs to strengthen its own defense partnerships with like minded countries such as France, US, UAE, and other like minded partners. So, these are some of the implications for India, and these last 2 points describe how India needs to navigate this difficult situation wherein at the surface Pakistan's geopolitical cloud seems to be increasing. So India needs to maintain strong relations, and at the same time it needs to focus on undertaking defense partnerships with other like-minded countries. So that was all about the first news article. Let's move on to the next. Okay. So this next news article is relevant for it's relevant for GS paper 3. GS पेपर 3 में you study disaster management, तो उसके लिए this news becomes important. It says that, if it's not visible, let me read it out. India updates disaster list to include heat waves and lightning after Finance Commission push. States get access to SDRF mitigation funds for heat wave and lightning relief. NDRF available as backup. So this might not sound very easy to you to understand, but don't worry, I'll help you break this down. Okay. तो देखिए, दिस इज रिलेटेड टू डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट. आपको पता है कि हमारे कंट्री में द मेन एक्ट जो सबसे द मेन लेजिस्लेशन और द मेन एक्ट which deals with disaster management in our country, it is the Disaster Management Act of 2005. इस एक्ट के अंडर हमने कुछ डिजास्टर्स को लिस्ट डाउन करा है. यस, फॉर एग्जांपल साइक्लोन्स, फ्लड्स, अर्थक्वेक्स, इस तरह से हमने एक लिस्ट बनाई है डिजास्टर्स की अंडर दिस डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट. एंड ऑल दीज notified disasters under the Disaster Management Act, they are eligible to receive funding assistance, relief assistance, and long-term mitigation assistance from the State Disaster Response Funds and the National Disaster Response Fund. सिंपल एक एक्ट है जिसका नाम है डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट. उस एक्ट के अंडर वी हैव लिस्टेड डाउन सर्टेन डिजास्टर्स. उन डिजास्टर्स के लिए दे आर एलिजिबल, अगर वो कभी होते हैं, इन केस ऑफ अकरेंस ऑफ दोज डिजास्टर्स, they are eligible to receive what? Receive financial assistance, to receive any kind of relief support, to receive any kind of mitigation funds. I hope that's clear. तो अब ये न्यूज क्या बात करती है? ये न्यूज बात कर रही है कि हमने इस लिस्ट में we have added 2 more disasters. Which are those 2 more disasters? Number 1 is heat waves and the other number 2 is lightning. So this becomes an important question, that which 2 disasters have recently been added? These are heat waves and lightning. Okay, so first this slide defines what is a notified natural calamity. Notified natural calamities are statutory weather or geological hazards recognized under the Disaster Management Act, making them eligible for systematic central and state financial assistance, relief, and long-term mitigation support. Clear? So notified natural calamity is nothing but any natural calamity which is recognized under the Disaster Management Act. And all these calamities which are recognized under the Disaster Management Act, they are eligible to receive what? They are eligible to receive central and state funds for their relief, mitigation, etc. That's it. Okay. Or now, with the inclusion of heat waves and lightning, the official list of nationally recognized disasters expand from 12 to 14 categories. सबसे पहले 12 categories थे disasters के under this act. Now they have expanded from 12 to 14 categories. Simple. I hope this is clear. Okay, now let us see कि ये जो step है, why India has included heat waves and lightning into the notified disasters. Yes, so this is justified. This inclusion of lightning and heat waves is justified on the basis of several statistics and data. So, according to these statistics, lightning is the highest mortality natural hazard in India. So that is important. Lightning is the highest mortality natural hazards. I'm sorry, it's not morality, it's mortality. Mortality means death. So lightning remains the highest mortality natural hazard in India. It causes over 2,000 to 25,000, 2,000 to 2,500 fatalities annually, accounting for more than 35% of all natural calamity deaths in the country. Okay, so of all the natural disaster deaths, 35% of them occur due to lightning. So this justifies that lightning is quite a severe hazard, quite a severe disaster in our country. Second is कि जो ज़्यादातर deaths होती हैं due to lightning, they occur in rural areas. 96% of lightning deaths and 77% of crop season casualties occur in rural areas. Then apart from claiming human lives, lightning की वजह से बहुत ज़्यादा economic losses भी होते हैं. Yes, for example, this data says that lightning strikes cause over rupees 12 to 15 crore in annual ex gratia disaster payouts per highly impacted state. हर एक state को almost 12 to 15 crore का खर्चा होता है हर साल due to lightning. Yes, हर impacted state को. Okay. Then let's see one data related to heat strokes and heat waves. That during peak summer months from March to July 2026, official health surveillance recorded thousands of severe heat stroke cases, over 4853, that is around 5,000 reported cases of what? Heat waves. So that shows heat waves is also very severe in India, or it is getting more and more severe as the climate is changing. ठीक है, तो इन पॉइंट्स की वजह से जस्टिफाई हो जाता है दैट यस दिस स्टेप इज कंप्लीटली वैलिड. वी इंडीड नीडेड टू इंक्लूड दीज कैलामिटीज इनटू द disaster management act. Okay, now let's move to the next is कि calamities notification का process क्या है. How do we notify a particular natural calamity to be a notified calamity? Yes, किसी भी नेचुरल कैलामिटी को हम डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट के अंडर कैसे नोटिफाई करते हैं. सो द प्रोसेस इंक्लूड्स रिकमेंडेशन बाय द फाइनेंस कमीशन. So you know finance commission is a constitutional body and every 5 years it is constituted by the president. So finance commission evaluates historical expenditure, frequency trends and hazard mortality across states to recommend inclusion and 5-year budget allocations. ठीक है, तो फाइनेंस कमीशन क्या करती है, वो इवेलुएट करती है कि यस विच डिजास्टर हैज कॉज्ड हाउ मेनी डेथ्स, विच डिजास्टर हैज कॉज्ड हाउ मच financial expenditure etc etc, and on the basis of all this analysis it recommends कि हम इन सारे calamities को include कर सकते हैं under the disaster management act. And then it also provides, it also allocates 5-year budget allocations for these notified calamities. And once finance commission has made recommendations, I'm sure you know finance commission is only a recommending body. Okay, finance commission cannot itself implement its own decision. It only recommends. So finance commission की recommendation को implement कौन करता है? It is the Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs formally accepts panel recommendations and issues revised operational guidelines under the Disaster Management Act of 2005. Disaster Management Act 2005 के अंदर it issues revised guidelines. It finally notifies a disaster under the act. Okay, I hope this procedure is clear. Okay, now let's see the funding mechanism. कि मान लीजिए अगर हमने किसी डिजास्टर को अब नोटिफाई कर दिया, जैसे हमने लाइटनिंग और हीट वेव्स को नोटिफाई कर दिया. Now what will be the funding mechanism like? Yes, how money will be allocated for these disasters? So state disaster response fund remains the first line of response. Every state has an SDRF to meet immediate relief expenditure for notified disasters. हर एक स्टेट में, इसका क्या मतलब है, हर एक स्टेट में एक क्या है, एक फंड है जिसका नाम है स्टेट डिजास्टर रिस्पॉन्स फंड. और अगर कभी भी कोई नेचुरल कैलामिटी होती है, नेचुरल डिजास्टर होता है, द फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ रिस्पॉन्स इज SDRF. द फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ रिस्पॉन्स इज नथिंग बट SDRF. इट प्रोवाइड्स इमीडिएट रिलीफ. यस. और जो ये SDRF फंड है, इसमें 75% contribution is from central government and the remaining 25% is by the state government itself. 75% पैसे SDRF के कहाँ से आते हैं, सेंटर से आते हैं. रिमेनिंग 25% कहाँ से आते हैं, स्टेट से आते हैं. दिस इज फॉर नॉर्मल स्टेट्स. बट फॉर some special category states such as the north eastern states and Himalayan states, ये रेशो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है. यहाँ इन नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स और हिमालयन स्टेट्स के लिए सेंटर का शेयर है 90% और स्टेट का शेयर है 10%. ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ SDRF इज कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड. देन अब मान लीजिए SDRF के जो मनी है, जो SDRF का एलोकेशन है, दैट इज नॉट इनफ टू टैकल टू डील विद अ पर्टिकुलर डिजास्टर. मान लीजिए बहुत सिवेरिटी का डिजास्टर है, yes, and we need more money to provide more relief, to provide more rehabilitation to people. Then in that case we go for National Disaster Response Fund. So when a disaster is severe and the SDRF is inadequate, the state can seek additional assistance from the NDRF or the National Disaster Response Fund. और NDRF में 100% of the allocation of NDRF comes from the central government. ठीक है, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. सबसे पहले क्या होता है, मान लीजिए अगर डिजास्टर हो गया, ओके, अनफॉर्चुनेटली डिजास्टर अकर्स, what will be the first line of response? First line of response will be SDRF or the State Disaster Response Fund. अब SDRF मान लीजिए इनएडिक्वेट पड़ गया, डिजास्टर की सिविरिटी बहुत ज्यादा है और SDRF में there is not enough money. Then what will do? State government will submit a memorandum to center. And then central assistance will come from NDRF. I hope that's clear. First line of response remains SDRF. If the severity of disaster is large, then state will send memorandum to center and center will release assistance from NDRF. Okay, I hope this is clear now. So this covers your entire notification of disasters in detail. Now let's move to the next news article. Okay, so next news articles is about a species, about a vulture species. It becomes important for your prelims exam as well as for your GS paper 3. GS 3 जिसमें आपका environment का section cover होता है. Okay, so it says Assam records world's first ever release of captive bred slender-billed vultures. Slender-billed vultures. The population of gyps vultures in India has declined by 99% over the last 20 years due to the use of veterinary painkiller drugs. So we will see what this news is all about. So first let us see what has happened. जो स्लेंडर बिल्ड वल्चर्स है, इस न्यूज का इफ आई हैव टू समराइज, जो स्लेंडर बिल्ड वल्चर्स हैं वो वाइल्ड में, वाइल्ड मतलब उनके नेचुरल हैबिटेट में, इन द वाइल्ड द पॉपुलेशन इज डिक्लाइनिंग वेरी वेरी रैपिडली. जैसे इसमें लिखा है यहाँ पे, द पॉपुलेशन हैज डिक्लाइंड बाय 99% इन द लास्ट 20 years. जिस वजह से क्या किया हमने, वी स्टार्टेड फोकसिंग ऑन देयर कंजर्वेशन एंड एज अ पार्ट ऑफ देयर कंजर्वेशन वी स्टार्टेड ब्रीडिंग देम in the captivity. Captivity matlab under controlled conditions, not in the wild. Captivity is opposite for wild. एक हो गया wild. Wild matlab the birds will survive, the birds will breed on their own in the wild. Another opposite of wild is in the captivity. In the captivity means that there is regulated conditions. We are constantly monitoring their health. We are constantly monitoring the health conditions of the vultures. We are trying to breed them, so that is in captivity. So Assam ने क्या किया है, it has for the very first time released the captive bred slender billed vultures into the wild. मतलब हमने इन vultures को captivity में breed किया, ये captivity में born हुए सारे vultures. Now, once they have, they have become a little mature, we have finally released them into their wild habitat. So this is what has happened. Okay, so Assam has achieved a major milestone in vulture conservation by releasing captive bred slender-billed vultures into the wild for the very first time. So this is important क्योंकि ये पहली बार ही हुआ है पूरी दुनिया में. So that's why it's an important milestone. The release took place in where? It took place in the Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve of Assam. We all know Kaziranga Tiger Reserve or National Park. It's located in Assam. Yes. Okay. Now I have a homework question for you. You will tell me on which river bank is the Kaziranga National Park located. Okay. So I hope itna clear ho gaya. Now let us see some more facts. So first of all, the species is named slender-billed vultures. Sometimes it's also called as the gyps vulture. सबसे important है आपके लिए to remember what is its IUCN status. So as I said, their population has declined very rapidly in the wild. Therefore, we have placed them in the critically endangered section of IUCN. Then इस प्रोग्राम का सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है? ये जो कंजर्वेशन एफर्ट असम ने अभी अचीव किया है, इसका सिग्निफिकेंस ये है that it is the first ever release of captive bred slender billed vultures into the wild. पहली बार दुनिया में ऐसा हुआ है कि हमने पहले वल्चर्स को, स्लेंडर बिल्ड वल्चर्स को कैप्टिविटी में ब्रीड किया, एंड देन आफ्टर दैट व्हेन दोस वल्चर्स ग्रू अप वी रिलीज देम into the wild. Okay. Then the birds were bred at Vulture Conservation Breeding Center in Assam. Then the program involves the Assam Forest Department and the Bombay Natural History Society. This becomes important कि कौन सी organizations are involved in this conservation effort. It's the Assam Forest Department and the Bombay Natural History Society. Bombay Natural History Society is a NGO, non-profit organization working specifically for the wildlife conservation. Okay. The release follows a soft release approach, allowing captive bred birds to assimilatize to their surroundings before fully adapting to life in the wild. Matlab, we will first, it's a soft release. That means we will keep these birds in monitoring, we will keep these birds under surveillance for a few days. And then when, their behavior in the wild becomes normal, you know, we become we become sure of the fact that yes, they will survive in the wild, then we will stop the surveillance. Okay, so that is what is meant by soft release. Then lastly, let us understand, हमने बात करी कि जो ये vultures हैं इनका population wild में बहुत ज़्यादा तेजी से decline हुआ. Let's understand the reason behind that. The reason is nothing but the use of diclofenac. Diclofenac is a drug and it is used as a painkiller among the livestock. ठीक है, जैसे इस डायग्राम में दिखाया गया है, we give diclofenac to lactating cows, lactating livestock species as a painkiller. And then what happens after this cow dies? What will happen? Vulture will eat this cow. Yes, vulture will eat the dead flesh of this cow, and this is how diclofenac will enter the vulture. And this diclofenac has proved to be deadly for the vultures. Yes, it was introduced at this level of the food chain. And then it eventually reached the vultures, causing their large scale population decline. I hope that's clear. So the main reason for such a huge decline of vultures, it's nothing but the use of diclofenac drug in amongst the livestock. Yes, and then that diclofenac slowly moves above the food chain, eventually reaches vultures, and then vultures die because of consuming diclofenac poisoned livestock. Okay, so this is the main reason. And then why do we care for our vultures? Yes, if vultures population is declining, why so significant? Yes, why it has made a national news. The reason is vultures are important scavengers and ecosystem cleaners. Scavengers, I hope you are aware, scavengers means animals that feed on the dead flesh. Yes, by rapidly consuming animal carcasses, they reduce the accumulation of dead livestock. They help limit the spread of pathogens, contribute to nutrients recycling, and maintain ecological sanitation. Yes, सारा का सारा role of vultures is hidden inside this keyword of ecosystem cleaners. They clean the ecosystem. And how they clean the ecosystem? By simply eating the dead carcasses of animals. जिस वजह से क्या होता है? जिस वजह से पैथोजेंस स्प्रेड नहीं होते. यस, न्यूट्रिएंट की जो रिसाइकलिंग है वो बनी रहती है. यस, एंड जो इकोलॉजिकल सैनिटेशन है दैट रिमेन्स प्रिजर्व्ड. Okay, so I hope this entire news article explains to you the importance of vultures, why they are declining, and what are the various conservation efforts that we have taken towards their protection. Okay, so thank you so much. We will meet again in the next session. Thank you.